Hi everyone. I forgot to put my mic back on, so here I go. Yeah, that's cool. Hi everybody. Welcome. It's been a few weeks since I went live, so I was sitting and looking on the calendar and just thinking about my house sitting life earlier today, and I realized I missed my 3-year anniversary. So I looked back and my first house sit dates were November, I wrote it down. Of course, I don't remember. November 5th through the 9th of 2022. So that makes last week my 3-year house sitting anniversary. I got so excited about it and I decided that I missed going live and talking to you guys. So I come on here and I just did a little reflection and thought of the 5 biggest lessons that I've learned. I'm Tina, and I am here to share my house sitting journey with you and help you live more richly by figuring out ways to travel, to leave your burnout, and to just be happy all over the world, anywhere you want to be. So, in true Tina fashion, I have my points written down on my note card here. So, let's get started. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. Number 5, I learned that I love the idea of having a pet, but I do not want one full time. So the responsibility of a pet, all the things you have to do to take care of them, and most especially the cost of making sure that they're okay. I learned that when my son had 2 pets and they got sick. Right after we adopted them, and it cost over $1,000 to get them the treatment that they needed. Also, with my traveling lifestyle and with me house sitting so often that it would impede my ability to house sit if I had a pet. Now, you can house sit with your pets. There are plenty of sits that allow you or even encourage you to bring your pets. But most of the time, people don't want to, have their pet have to acclimate to your pet. So that would really cut down on it and extra airfare. All right. Number 4 is I learned that I don't need as much money as I always thought I did with my Americanized work for someone and make the most money that you can mindset. So I wrote here on my notes that I've learned how many of the so called necessities that I always held dear actually are a part of conditioning, actually, in a westernized, I want to say Americanized, Americanized slash westernized mindset caused me to think that I needed these things and couldn't be without them, but it actually is not true. Some examples I wrote down are a car. I did not bring my car on this sit, and I've been here 2 months and 3 days. No car. I gladly take the bus or the host takes me into town when I want to go. The bus stop is not far, and I actually enjoy riding the bus. I didn't have access to public transportation growing up, so it's not something that I've ever been accustomed to because I've always lived in rural areas or suburban areas. But it's an adventure when you're somewhere else and you get to, it's a privilege always to not have to drive. So you can ride and look and see the scenes. And, the only inconvenience is timing because I have to wait for the bus to come. But I really don't need a car, and it allows me to get so much more exercise and meet so many more people. So, car, huge television, I always had, a big TV, rarely watched it, but I thought it was a necessity. Like, I couldn't imagine not having one. Now, when I do watch TV, which is not often, I just watch it on my laptop and I'm just fine. Um, and this is a big one, trendy new outfits for every occasion. You guys know, especially if you're from the United States or from any Western place, how important wardrobe is. And I'm not saying that it's not important, but to have something new for every occasion, for everything that you deem special or, so many wardrobe options. I've learned because, of course, the more outfits you bring when you travel, the more expensive your luggage fees are. So I've learned to mix and match, kind of a capsule wardrobe situation. And I'm just fine. Nothing bad is happening to me because I don't have a new outfit for every occasion. So that's a really key thing that I learned. Number three, I don't need as much space as I was taught that I need as an American. So my house that is on the market right now, 2,300 square feet. I'm the only person there. When I am there, I'm rarely there. And when I bought the house, my mom was still alive. My son would come back and forth. No longer the case. So I've been there in all of that space, and I finally realized right now I am in what's called a casita, which is the equivalent of a tiny home. And I'll be showing you guys the inside of it and everything next week on this channel. But I don't know, it's less than 500 square feet. And I have everything I need: a kitchen, refrigerator, a nice bathroom, a place to store my clothes and everything. It's fine. I'm happy. I have no problems with it. I don't feel like I'm suffocating because also I spend more time out, not more time, but I spend time outside enjoying that. So it's a fourth, 25%, less than 25% of the space that I used to occupy and just have so much stuff in that I wasn't using, didn't need. I'm really happy in this smaller space. I have everything I need and I really appreciate it. Number two, I learned that I have an employee mindset. I should have put this as number one because to me, it's been my biggest lesson learned. Now, I've always been an employee. Since I started working, I have tried entrepreneurial pursuits and wasn't consistent, didn't stick with them long enough to see them take off. So they were never, excuse me, my main source of income or even my main focus. Now, in this space, I had to make a conscious decision that I would be consistent, that I would surround myself with, the resources and tools that I need to be successful in entrepreneurship on this journey since I left my job earlier this year. If you guys didn't see that, I recorded a video about it and I shared me actually quitting. So check that out. I'll pin it. But I don't think there was a way for me to know that I had such a fixed employee mindset until I stopped being an employee, until I was 100% sure that I am not going back to being an employee. And so when I say that, what I mean is that I am so accustomed to having a steady paycheck, so accustomed to knowing exactly what it will take, who I need to talk to, looking over a list of different jobs, apply to that, get it, and that's the way to make more money. Going through somebody else this is the real thing, as I say that. The real thing is allowing somebody else to define my worth by setting my pay amount for me, how fast I can grow, where the ceiling is in that role, and how long it will take me to grow. Those types of things, most importantly, is what I mean when I say I learned that I have an employee mindset. And it's a total shift when you become an entrepreneur. There's no limit to, there's nobody externally setting any limits for me. Whatever limit I have on my income, on my ability to grow my business, to grow my capacity, that is on me. it's about how much dedication I put into it. And there is no one there. When I spoke about the glass ceiling, there's no one there saying, Tina did this, but right now we don't have the amount of money it would take to reward her for that. So how great that we have an awesome employee. No matter how hard I worked, what I received was always contingent upon what was left over from what somebody else got first, the higher ups, the owners of the company and such. Now that's on me. I get what I put in, and nobody caps that except for me. So it's really allowed me to expand my thoughts of my own worth. Nobody can tell me now, oh, like at my last job, oh, 94,000, that's what you're worth per year. Nobody can tell me that because I believe we all possess some life experience, some taught experience that allows us to come with more value than $100,000 per year. And so I just love now that I can see the bigger picture, and I'm even growing in that. Something major happened today, actually, that let me see that I'm even growing in that mindset where it's broadening more and more. And I'm excited about that, clearly, because I've spent the most time talking about it. It should have been my number one. And number one on my list is that I don't long to travel when I'm happy where I am. So I still love to travel, of course, and I'm still going to continue to travel. But when I was in the United States, really for as long as I can remember, I've always longed to be somewhere else. Even if it was a small longing, and most of the time it was because I would suppress it. I was busy living life, wasn't always in a position to just get up and go. But anytime I've left the United States, I've always felt so at ease. Like when I tell you, I'm talking about on a soul level. I've always felt that ease on a soul level when I leave the United States. I certainly don't want to stop here and get into the reasons that I've learned through a lot of spirit work and, honoring my soul, looking back on some ancestral things. Um, the way I feel, even when I'm in a place, the 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 house it took me to a place that I traveled to that I enjoyed the least of all of my travels. Out of my whole life's travels, I enjoyed this place the least. And I could not figure out why at first. But then I came to the conclusion that it was because there were so many expats, American expats in this place. And the people who kept bringing me around them were trying to include me and make me feel comfortable. But it really just had the opposite effect. And so it taught me how there is something, energetically about the United States, people from the United States who carry a certain mindset that does not allow my soul to be free. I know I'm going into a whole different place here, but I just don't talk about on this channel soul level spirituality, but I'm very much into holistic practices, Eastern medicine practices, um, that have that God has led me to heal and be free. And so I've learned being outside of the United States, not just anywhere, but I feel so much more of an ease when I'm away from whatever it is energetically that does not align with me in the States. And it feels so good. It feels so good. So it allows me to travel to places I feel that are even more aligned with myself because it's not a feeling of whew, this place feels wonderful just because I just left the United States. Staying away longer and going from one place that's not in the United States to another place that's not in the United States helps me to appreciate those places even more because I don't have to shed this negativity that I have to shed when I first leave the States. And it takes me about 3 weeks. I will never forget how it takes me about a week. It used to take me when I was still working about 1 week, or when I was still in the United States extensively, about 1 week to actually rest, 5 to 7 days, for my body to actually rest, like slow down and accept sleep, embrace rest, really sit deeply with myself and how I feel when I'm completely at ease. 5 to 7 days for that. Then after that, it takes me about a week to actually rest, like to actually sleep enough, sit enough, have my mind calm enough to where I actually get to a place of relaxation. Then everything after that is beautiful, just enjoying life, being more attentive to my surroundings and the people, taking all that in. So when I went on my sabbatical last year, it ended up being a sabbatical because I wasn't ready to actually move as I had planned to be. So that was October to November of last year. I was away for 3 to 4 weeks. I started feeling this doom 2 days before I was supposed to return to the United States. And initially, I could not understand what was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I was so happy. Then I figured out that was what it was, that my brain and all the parts of me were processing the fact that I was going to go back. So once I figured that out, I was like, okay, you just have to accept it because you have to go back now. And, all of this is preparation for being able to leave more long term in the future, in the near future. So even when I'm not consciously thinking about it, it's a lot for me to be in the United States. I do not hate the United States. I grew up there. My family is there. I am who I am you know, because I am American and because I have grown up in America, and I get to see things differently and grow and learn because I have a mindset that I am open to reshaping. So I'm very appreciative for that. I do not hate the United States, but I also don't want to be there long term. It's just energetically not great for me. So this number one, um, I can just stay put. Like I said, I've been here. Right now I'm on a house sit in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I arrived in Mexico on September 15th. And so I've been here for 2 months and 3 days. And I don't long to go anywhere else. If I go somewhere else, it's great. But if I stay right here in San Miguel, and of course I'm still exploring and learning the area and such, but if I was to stay right here, I would be perfectly fine. I'm not longing to get away. That's a beautiful feeling that I really hope and pray house sitting or just learning to live a more affordable life within your means, learning to find a job or an occupation that allows you to travel more frequently and extensively. I want this for everyone because, life is to be celebrated and stress kills. Bottom line. So I'm grateful that I remembered finally that I have made it over this 3 year hump. And I'm so excited that I get to share this with you. So one day you can say you've been house sitting for 3 years also. Thanks for checking in. Toodles.